Welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to Bodie, California.
Bodie.
Yeah, a ghost town, like frozen in time.
Oh, wow, okay. I'm intrigued.
You sent us some awesome stuff on it, like excerpts from the ghost town of Bodie, California, a tale of haunting history and lingering spirits.
Sounds right up our alley.
So picture this. Dusty shops, but they still have stuff on the shelves. Houses, furniture still there.
Really?
Even a schoolhouse, desks, chalkboards, the whole bit. That's Bodie.
Wow, that's incredible. So are we talking history, legends, ghosts? What's the plan for today?
All of it. History, legends, maybe even some modern mysteries. You ready to dive in?
Let's do it. What makes Bodie so special, though? I mean, there are tons of ghost towns.
Right. But Bodie, it's not just ruins. It's like preserved. Arrested decay, they call it. Arrested decay. That's interesting. What does that even mean?
I'm sure we'll get into that. But think about it. Nearly 10,000 people live there at its peak.
Wow, a real town then, not just some outpost.
Exactly. Bustling, and then poof, ghost town in just a few decades. What happened? Gold Rush town.
You got it. Gold rush dries up, town dries up with it. Kind of a cautionary tale, maybe?
No, absolutely. Resource-based economies. We see that pattern even today.
Right. But what's crazy is it's not just abandoned. They're actually taking care of it, preserving it.
So like a snapshot of the Wild West, that's got to be fascinating to see.
Oh, yeah. And get this, over 60 saloons. Opium dens, brothels, it was wild.
60 saloons. Wow. Well, a place like that, you're bound to get some ghost stories.
For sure. They even say bad men from Bodie. That kind of reputation sticks with you.
Definitely. Adds to the mystique, feeds the legends.
Totally. And speaking of legends, there's the curse of Bodie. Ever heard
I
of it?
could say I have. What's that all about?
So the legend is you take a souvenir, anything, even something small.
Uh-oh.
Bad luck. Relationships fall apart, money troubles, even accidents. Spooky stuff.
Seriously, people believe that.
Oh, yeah. The park gets letters from people who took things, wanting to send them back.
To break the curse. Wow. Superstition or something more. Who knows?
Right. What makes you think, would you risk taking anything?
I don't know. I think I'd leave things as they are. But this haunted history, what kinds of stories are we talking about? Any specific places?
Oh, yeah. They mentioned the Kane house, the Mendocini house, the
All
cemetery.
cemetery classic. What about the houses, though?
Well, Kane house, they say it's haunted by Mrs. Kane, people seeing figures in the windows.
Creepy.
And the Mendocini house, supposedly haunted by a child. Giggles, tiny footprints in the dust.
Makes you wonder, right? Power of suggestion or something real. What do you think?
I'm keeping an open mind.
Yeah,
But it's fascinating how these stories get started and passed down.
definitely. Especially in a place like Bodie. I bet it's a hot spot for, paranormal investigators.
Oh, absolutely. They love Bodie.
Yeah.
EVP recordings, temperature drops, weird photos.
And the whole works. But is any of that really, evidence? What do you think?
Good question. We could do a whole deep dive on that another time.
Yeah, we could. But it shows you Bodie makes people think. History, mystery, it's all there.
It's more than just ghosts, though, right? It's a historical site. Got to be a tough balance to strike.
Oh, for sure. Keep it authentic, but it's the ghost town thing that attracts people.
Exactly. They talk about arrested decay in this piece, remember?
Yeah. So not preventing it completely, but managing it.
Right. I'm curious, what does that actually look like in Bodie? How do they do it?
Well, think about it. They have to weatherproof things, reinforce structures,
Ah, I see.
even control the plants growing there,
Yeah.
all to keep the buildings from falling apart.
Makes sense. But it's still decay, right? Just a slower, more controlled version.
Yeah, you could say that. They're letting nature do its thing, but in a way that preserves Bodie.
Wow. That's got to be a lot of work. Constant monitoring, adjustments.
Oh, absolutely. It's a delicate balance, and it raises some interesting ethical questions.
Like what?
Well, how much should we interfere? Nature versus preservation? Where's the line?
That's deep. I mean, we're talking about a whole town here, not just one building.
Exactly. And Bodie, with its history, its legends, it really highlights that tension.
It's more than just a collection of old buildings.
Right. It's a story. Boom and bust, the Wild West, ghosts, all wrapped up in this one place.
And they're trying to hold on to that story, preserve it.
While still letting it decay.
Oh.
It's fascinating, really. Makes you think.
Definitely does. So we've got the gold rush, the legends, the ghosts, the preservation.
But what about the actual places in Bodie? What would you see if you went there?
Oh, good point. Let's talk about that. What about the Standard Mill in mine? That seems pretty central.
Absolutely. That was the heart of it all, where they pulled the gold and silver out.
Wow. Hard to imagine what it must have been like back then.
Back-breaking work, but also the driving force of the whole town.
Right. And what about the general store? I picture shelves full of, like, old-timey stuff.
You got it. Like a time capsule, tools, food, everything.
Wow, that would be amazing to see. And a little sad, too, thinking about how it all ended.
Definitely. Then there's the jail. I bet that place has some stories to tell.
Oh, I can only imagine. The rough characters, the fights, the escapes.
A reminder that Bodie wasn't all sunshine and roses.
Right. Life on the edge of civilization. And what about the schoolhouse? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, the schoolhouse, kids growing up in a boom town, wild times.
What must that have been like? You picture those empty desks, the chalkboards?
Makes you wonder about their lives. What happened to them after Bodie went bust?
Totally. So much history, so many stories, all in one place.
And the mysteries don't stop there. This piece mentions some modern day stuff too.
Like what?
Well, even today, people report strange things happening in Bodie.
Really? Like what kind of things?
Electrical glitches, cameras acting up, that feeling of being watched.
Spooky.
Some even say they hear footsteps, see shadows moving.
You think it's real? Or just people's imaginations running wild?
Honestly, I think it's good to keep an open mind. You never know.
I like that. An open mind. Body certainly makes you think about what's possible.
It does. History, mystery, the human experience. It's all there.
Well said. It sounds like Body is a place that really gets under your skin.
It does. In a good way, though. It makes you think. It makes you feel.
It's not just a ghost town. It's an experience.
Exactly. An experience you don't forget. Body makes you wonder, are we really in control? Or does nature always win in the end?
Deep thoughts for a Tuesday. But it's true. Nature always finds a way.
It does. And Body's a perfect example of that. But hey, enough philosophy for now.
Okay, back to Body.
Yeah.
We've talked about the gold rush, the legends, the ghosts.
Right, right. But what about the actual places, the buildings? Like, what would you see there?
Yeah, good point. What about that standard mill and mine? That seems like a big one, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was the heart of it all, the whole reason Body existed.
I mean, it's where they pulled the gold and silver out of the ground, right?
Exactly. Backbreaking work. Imagine the noise, the dust.
Wow, I can't even imagine. It must have been incredible to see it in action.
Incredible. And dangerous, too, I'm sure. But it fueled the whole town,
Yeah, literally fueled it. What about the general store? I'm picturing, like, shelves stocked with, I don't know, old-timey stuff.
You got it. It's like stepping back in time. You can almost see the people in there buying their supplies.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And it's sad, too, in a way.
Oh, absolutely. It's like life just stopped there. One day, they were buying and selling, and then, poof.
Gone.
Yeah.
Kind of eerie, isn't it? Speaking of eerie, what about the jail? That must have been a wild place.
Oh, yeah, the jail. You can bet there were some rough characters in there.
I was thinking like bar fights, escapes, the whole Wild West thing.
Exactly. A reminder that Body wasn't always pretty.
Yeah, definitely. It had a dark side, for sure.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit. What about the schoolhouse? I'm curious about that.
The schoolhouse, yeah. Kids growing up in a boom town.
I'm picturing it. Empty desks, dusty chalkboards. What must that have been like?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Did those kids ever imagine their town would become a ghost town?
Right. Did they stay in the West? Move on to other boom towns? It's crazy to think about. So many stories in one place.
Body's full of them. Past, present, maybe even future. Who knows?
Future? What do you mean?
Well, this piece mentions some modern-day mysteries, right? Unexplained things happening even today.
Oh, yeah. Like what, though? Give me the spooky details.
Well, people say they feel like they're being watched, see shadows moving out of the corner of their eyes.
No way. That's creepy. Anything else?
Some report hearing footsteps when no one's around. Others say their cameras malfunction, electronics go haywire.
Whoa. Do you buy it? Or are people letting their imaginations run wild?
It's hard to say, Some people are more sensitive to those kinds of things than others.
Yeah, I guess. But it makes you wonder. What if there's something more to Body than meets the eye?
Exactly. What if it's more than just history and dust?
Okay, now you've got me thinking. This is getting good.
I mean, there are definitely places that feel, I don't know, heavier than others.
Right, like the energy is different.
Exactly. Body's definitely one of those places. It's got layers,
It's more than just a ghost town. It's like a window into another time, another way of life.
It is. I mean, it makes you think about the people who lived there, their hopes, their dreams.
And their fears, probably. I mean, life back then was rough.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It wasn't all romanticized Wild West shootouts and saloons.
It makes you appreciate what we have today, that's for sure. But it's also important to remember those stories.
Absolutely. We can learn a lot from the past, even from a ghost town like Bodie.
This whole deep dive has been fascinating. Thanks for sharing all your insights.
My pleasure. It's been fun. Bodie's a place that sparks the imagination, you know?
It does. History, mystery, a little bit of spookiness. It's got it all.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe there's even more to discover.
That's what I love about these deep dives. Always something new to learn.
And always more questions than answers.
True that. But that's half the fun, right? Keeps us coming back for more.
Absolutely. So, to our listener, if you ever get the chance to visit Bodie,
Do it. It's an experience you won't forget.
and hey, maybe you'll even have your own unexplained encounter.
Ooh, spooky. But seriously, Bodhi is a reminder that the past is never truly gone.
It's all around us, waiting to be rediscovered.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.